We think of railways as these unstoppable giants of logistics, right? They move mountains of stuff across entire continents. So it's kind of weird. When a disaster strikes, when we need them the most, why do they sometimes grind to a screeching halt? Well, this explainer is all about a brilliant new strategy that gets them moving again, and way faster than ever before.
Yeah, this is the big question, isn't it? A crisis hits, lives are on the line, but the very system that's built for all that heavy lifting suddenly becomes slow and just chaotic. So what's really going on here? Let's dig into it.
Okay, so here's the fundamental problem with the old way of doing things. To get just one emergency train out the door, operators basically have to slam the brakes on the entire network. Everything stops. They have to redraw the whole schedule just to squeeze that one train in. So not only does that waste precious time, delaying the aid, but it creates this massive cascading traffic jam for every single other train. You're trying to solve one emergency by creating a nationwide logistical nightmare.
So how do you break out of that vicious cycle? Well, the breakthrough idea from this research is, honestly, as simple as it is brilliant. You split the entire emergency response into two totally separate stages. It's a complete rethink of the problem.
First up, you have the emergency recovery phase, or ERP for short. You got to think of this as that critical life or death window right after a disaster hits. The demand for supplies is through the roof, and any shortage could be, well, catastrophic. So in this phase, only two things matter: speed and fairness. Get limited supplies to everyone who needs them, and do it now. Then, once that initial fire is out, once the immediate danger has passed and things start to stabilize, we move into the post-emergency recovery phase, or PEEP. And here, the game completely changes. The goal isn't just raw speed anymore. It's about rebuilding. The focus pivots to things like cost-effectiveness and efficiently getting the economy and those crucial supply chains back on track. So you see the difference? Instead of one big, chaotic scramble, you get this really clear, logical flow. A disaster strikes, you immediately launch the fast and fair ERP, then you smoothly transition into the efficient and economical PERP. Just having this simple structure, well, it changes absolutely everything. So let's zoom in on that first phase, the ERP, because this is where the real magic happens. It's all about that classic idea: work smarter, not harder, especially when every single second counts. This quote from the research paper just nails it. It's a dual objective: get enough stuff to everyone and do it as fast as humanly possible. Not just fast and not just fair. It has to be both. So how on earth do you pull that off without creating that gridlock we just talked about? And here it is. This is the big aha moment of the whole strategy. Instead of creating a brand new emergency train and trying to jam it into the schedule, you use what's already there. You find a regular freight train that's already going to the disaster area, you quickly swap its normal cargo for emergency supplies, and you send it on its way, on its original schedule. No replanning, no new timetables, no gridlock. It's an unbelievably clever logistical judo move. Okay, so the ERP handled the immediate crisis. Awesome. But what about all that non-emergency cargo that got bumped? And what about the bigger economic recovery? Well, that's the job of the second phase, the PRP. Its mission is to restore order and get business moving again. But this phase has its own little puzzle to solve. You've got the railway company, right? They want to maximize profit. And then you have the cargo owners, the businesses whose stuff is on the trains, and they, of course, want to minimize their costs. These two goals are naturally pushing against each other, so any good solution has to find that perfect sweet spot in the middle. And the PERP model does exactly that with a really smart, really fair solution. It takes all those non-emergency goods that got delayed during the crisis and gives them a VIP pass to the front of the line. By running them on dedicated, non-stop trains, it clears out that backlog super fast, which minimizes the economic pain for everybody involved. Now, this all sounds fantastic on paper, doesn't it? But the real question is, does it actually work in the messy, chaotic real world? Well, the researchers put it to the ultimate test using a very recent and very complex disaster scenario. Yeah, they stress-tested their strategy against the massive logistical challenge of the 2022 COVID-19 outbreak in China. I mean, think about it. You've got multiple major cities like Shanghai and Wuhan needing critical medical supplies from a bunch of different supply points. It was the perfect high-stakes test. And the results? Honestly, they were staggering. The new railway strategy wasn't just a little bit faster than sending aid by truck, it blew it out of the water. We're talking more than twice as fast as a truck going full speed on the highway, and over 3 times faster than a truck at average speeds. That is a massive difference. And get this, it wasn't just faster than trucks. It was also a huge improvement over the old way of doing rail emergencies. In that critical emergency phase, it got supplies out 6 to 19% faster. And crucially, it achieved a material satisfaction rate of over 51%. That means distribution was balanced, preventing one area from getting everything while another gets nothing. All right, now for that second phase, the PER, the economic recovery. When it came to cleaning up the logistical mess, the researchers found one number that just jumped off the page: 50.49%. So what does that number mean? It means a more than 50% reduction in the delay losses for all that regular, non-emergency cargo. So this strategy not only saves lives faster in the beginning, it also cuts the economic damage from the disruption in half. I mean, that is a massive win-win. So pulling this all together, what's the big takeaway here? It's about more than just trains. It's about a fundamentally smarter way of thinking about logistics that could lead to a much, much safer world. What we're looking at here is a proven strategy that finds the perfect balance between that life-saving speed and economic stability. It avoids the old trap of causing gridlock and financial loss while you're trying to solve the initial crisis. This is more than just a railway plan. It's a blueprint for building resilience into our most complex systems. And that leaves us with one final thought to chew on. This convert, don't create idea, this principle of working smarter, not harder, is incredibly powerful. So if it can fix something as complex as a national emergency railway system, just imagine where else an approach like this could make a world of difference.